Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the Mנחem Begin Center, and friends of Israel, thank you. From the depth of my heart, thank you for this extraordinary honor, the Mנחem Begin Prize. It is with profound humility and immense pride that I accept this recognition, named after a leader whose life exemplified unwavering courage, moral clarity, and an unyielding commitment to the Jewish people and the state of Israel. Mנחem Begin was a statesman who stood against tyranny, fought for freedom, and never wavered in the face of adversity. To be associated with his legacy is not just an award. It is a solemn call to continue his work. I wish more than anything that I could be there with you in person. But my spirit is there, standing shoulder to shoulder with each one of you in Jerusalem, the eternal capital of the Jewish people. I stand before you virtually, but no less resolute because of my work standing with Israel and the Jewish people, not out of political expediency, but out of a deep-seated conviction that silence in the face of evil is complicity. I have spoken out, advocated tirelessly, and mobilized support against the rising tide of anti-Semitism and misinformation. I have challenged the lies that seek to distort history, justify terror, and delegitimize Israel's right to exist and defend itself. This path has not been easy. In a world filled with moral relativism, where truth is twisted by propaganda and evil masquerades as justice, standing for what is right exacts a heavy toll. I have faced death threats that sought to silence me, financial repercussions that tested my resolve, and isolation from communities I once called my own. Yet I would choose this path again and again, because the cost of inaction, of allowing hatred to flourish unchecked, is far greater. We live in an era where lies spread like wildfire, amplified by social media and echoed in halls of power, where universities, once beacons of enlightenment, become breeding grounds for intolerance, where international bodies meant to uphold justice too often pervert it. In such a world, we must remember the words of Mנחem Begin himself. Quote, "Peace is the beauty of life. It is sunshine. It is the smile of a child, the love of a mother, the joy of a father, the togetherness of a family. It is the advancement of man, the victory of a just cause, the triumph of truth." End quote. But peace is not achieved through appeasement. It demands vigilance against those who seek to destroy it. In the spirit of Begin's visionary peace with Egypt, a bold leap that shattered walls of enmity and forged bonds of hope, I live and labor each day to nurture true peace between Israel and its neighbors. With unwavering dedication, I work to bridge the chasms that divide Israel and Lebanon, envisioning a horizon where ancient cedars and olive groves stand side by side in serenity, free from the shadows of conflict. This pursuit extends to all borders, for I dream of a Middle East where swords are beaten into plowshares, where shared prosperity replaces shared suffering, and where the children of Abraham, of all faith, walk together in the light of mutual respect. It is a path fought with obstacles, demanding not just words, but tireless action, fostering dialogue, challenging extremists, and amplifying voices of reconciliation amid the clamor of division. For peace is not the absence of tension, but the presence of justice. And I commit my life to its realization, knowing that only through such harmony can Israel and her neighbors truly flourish. My commitment stems from the values instilled in me by my parents, Nicholas and Bahia, two extraordinary individuals who taught me that integrity is not negotiable, that actions speak louder than words, and that doing the right thing often means standing alone. My parents are buried across the street on Mount Zion, where Oskar Schindler is laid to rest. If you have ever visited Schindler's grave, you have walked by my parents. Their eternal resting place, a quiet beacon of righteousness amid the stones of heroes. I had them buried there in 1989, long before I ever knew that my life would become that of an activist standing up for truth in a world of lies, and standing with Israel in a time when the whole world seems to stand against her and her people. I chose that sacred spot because I always wanted my children to be drawn to Israel, to feel its pull in their hearts, and to understand the unbreakable bond that ties us as proud Lebanese Christians to this land, a bond that death itself cannot sever. Though my parents are no longer with us in body, Mom and Dad, I know you are watching from heaven. This honor is yours as much as it is mine. A testament to the enduring light you kindled in my soul. You showed me through your own lives moral courage and how to live with purpose, not with empty rhetoric, but with deeds that echo through time. I honor you tonight with every beat of my heart. And I thank you for shaping me into someone who could not look away when evil reared its head. For your legacy pulses through me still. Receiving the Mנחem Begin Prize is a profound affirmation that this fight matters, that standing with Israel, defending the Jewish people, and confronting hatred is not just a personal choice, but a universal imperative. I am deeply appreciative of the selection committee for recognizing my effort amid so many worthy voices. To my fellow honorees, to the supporters of Israel around the world, and to the resilient people of Israel themselves, let us stand firm against division and deceit. Let us build a future where truth triumphs, where Israel thrives in security and peace, and where the Jewish spirit, unbreakable and eternal, illuminates the world. May God bless the state of Israel, the Jewish people, and all those who stand for righteousness and seek peace. Toda Rabba, Am Israel Chai.